What's up, everybody? I don't know if y'all can hear me with the tractor going, but what I'm going to be doing today is this is my food plot. So might as well go ahead and show that off. This is last year's winter oats is what I had planted, and I let this go way too long. So you can see some of these oats are 5 foot tall out there. So I'm trying to get these chopped down so I can go ahead and start tilling this in, getting it worked up and ready for, usually what I'll start out with is a soybean food plot. Then I'll go into like some cow peas or acre peas, and then later in the winter what I'll do is plant this in winter oats for the deer, because that does really well down here all winter long. And that way I'm just constantly giving them something green from about July all the way through early spring next year. So I'm going to be putting my shooting house over in here that I'm building right now. I'll have a video on that. I've got a feeder that I keep going year round over there that I keep a game camera on just so I can watch pictures of the deer and turkey and different animals. So this is probably about an acre and a half up here that I do just for the deer. Everything else over here I'm about to mow and till in. You can see I've already done tilled once. I've got to continue to work this in now that I've finally got some rain in the ground. This is a few acres right here that I normally plant in brown top millet for dove. And it actually works really well. I know most people think that you need 30-40 acres for a dove field, but my first few shoots of the year are normally really good here. I can get the local birds that stay year round. Now with that said, later in the year I've got big plantations around me. I can't compete with them. I start losing all the birds to those guys. You know, they're the ones with the 40, 50, maybe 100 acre fields planted just for dove hunting. So that's the plan. That's what I'm going to do today. If Mother Nature right here doesn't stop me, we've finally been getting some rain. We're in a drought, so I'll take it. I'm gonna get all this mowed up, try to get some of this mowed up, and start tilling in and killing off some of this grass and weeds out here, because I've got to start planting this in just a few weeks. So I want to get it tilled in twice to kill everything, and I'll kind of plant this at my leisure, maybe 1st of July, and we'll get something started here. I just want to show y'all what I was doing. Instead of spraying the fields, and I typically try to avoid spraying a bunch of herbicides if I can. Doesn't mean I don't spray it, I do, but I enjoy the seat time on the tractor as well. So all I'm doing, I'm a few weeks out from planting my millet for dove. I'm taking this field, which I'd already chopped up once several weeks ago. It was real rough. I didn't even mow it. That's why it looks the way that it does. And I've come back today now that I've got some moisture in the ground. And you can see the difference. This is what I'm starting with. This is what I'm going to. Very little green left out there. So all I'm literally doing is just throwing dirt on top of that grass to smother it out. Basically voiding it of sunlight, and that's what'll kill it. So I'm gonna turn this whole field over one time like that, wait about a week or two. That'll give the roots and what you've covered up, the leaves, the weeds, time to die off. Now you gotta keep in mind, a lot of these weeds are seeded out. They've got seeds on them. So you're burying those seeds. That's why you don't really wanna wait more than a week or two, because there's gonna be new weeds coming up. So I'll turn it under one more time. I typically do this 2 to 3 times. That's kind of a natural way, without spraying a bunch of herbicides, to kill a field off. But you got to make sure that you're pretty quick with that, because if you keep letting the weeds seed out, all you're doing is reseeding it, replanting it every time. So you turn over 2 to 3 times with no more than 2 weeks in between, and you'll wind up with a mostly weed-free field there. Then I'll come in at that point and plant the field. And just take a look at that dirt. Every time I turn this dirt over, I love it. Our other place that we're selling and come from has just sugar sand, low quality soil. This is some of the best soil. This is the best soil I've ever owned. So every time I turn it over, I just love looking at it. It looks so good. And everything I plant here grows so well. So that's what I'm doing right now. However, Mother Nature's coming and about to tell me I've got to go back to the house. I definitely don't want to be out here turning the field over with a bunch of rain. It'd just get so soupy and muddy that it's just not worth it. It's already almost too wet as is. Take a look at that sky. Yeah, I think it's definitely time for me to put the tractor up and get indoors. We'll take the rain though. We've been in a really bad drought, so I'm so thankful for it. Well, I decided to take a break and let the tractor cool down and run down to the old river. Dad and I are thinking about going fishing tomorrow. And I had this ramp in mind. You can see it's a pretty sketchy ramp, in pretty bad shape. It drops off, but we've got a lot of rain the last few weeks. I already knew the river was way too low to put in, but looks like it's come back up a little. It doesn't take a lot of rain to fluctuate these little rivers. It's an absolutely beautiful river. Last time I was on it, I was catching some, I mean, huge brim. So like I said, while the tractor's cooling off, I thought I'd come check. It's going to be kind of hard to put in, but I think I can do it. So, if y'all are interested in this kind of stuff, I do have another channel. I'm always going to try to leave the link in the description. But my wife and I have another channel called The Kelly's Outdoors, where we go do stuff just like this. Fishing, hunting, swimming, boating, canoeing, just anything outdoors related. Kind of showing y'all the beautiful area outside of our little homestead. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I guess I'm gonna ease on back and get back to work. Alright, I got this half of the field done. I went ahead and turned it over twice. You can see how effective that is. There's almost no grass left. The next couple of days they're calling for hardly no rain and sunshine, which is just what you need. If you were to get a heavy rain on this, it would uncover a lot of what I've buried. But you can see what the disc harrow does. It disturbs the root bed. It covers the majority of this up, blocks the sunlight out. It's really effective way to kill weeds without using a herbicide. This other half of the field, I've got it mowed now. And the reason I do this field 2 separate halves like this is because I like to split up my planting. I'll plant that half several weeks behind this one. So when this comes up, I'll go ahead and cut it, before dove season. There goes one right there. Let the dove start feeding on it, and that's while this is growing. And then a couple weeks into dove season, I'll go ahead and cut this side, and I'll actually replant this. Because we have such a mild winter here, I am able to get away with planting late into the fall and actually into dove season, so I can have another small patch of millet for the second phase of dove. So that's why I stagger them like I do. Thinking about trying something new this year that I've never done before. Just broadcast about a 20-foot wide path of corn right down the middle. So if somebody wants to go out and hide in the corn, they can do that. It may not grow very well. It's a bit late to be doing corn, but you know, I do run corn in a feeder, and I've seen animals and rodents go bury it in the field, and it actually comes up and grows quite well. So I think I'm gonna try that. A little 10 to 20 foot wide strip of corn in the middle. If it doesn't come up well, I could always plow it under and plant some more millet there.